We are on the outside looking in as the playoffs begin tonight, and I guess there's a number of different levels of frustration, but one of them is that this format is absolutely class. They're like from a neutral standpoint, even it is absolutely class. One-legged ties. You've got 10 teams already qualified from Europe for the World Cup. 11 more teams now competing for the remaining 3 slots. Just a quick reminder of what the draw looks like. Italy or Portugal will definitely miss out on the World Cup. That was the headline from the draw when it was done at the end of last year. Also, Russia have been kicked out, which means Poland currently have a bye into the final. And the other piece of news is that it's unclear when Scotland versus Ukraine is going to be played for obvious reasons. They're thinking that they might be able to squeeze it in to June. Steve Clarke says he just doesn't have a clue. Andriy Shevchenko says they really want to settle the game on the pitch. Some of their players are literally fighting a war, so it's very, very hard to put your finger on when that game will be played or how that's exactly going to be settled. So that's up in the air. The paths as they are: Wales are playing Austria tonight, and then Scotland-Ukraine is also on that same path. Path B then, Poland have a bye to the final, and then they will play the winner of Sweden against the Czech Republic. And then Path C is the really tasty one: Portugal against Turkey tonight, and Italy against North Macedonia. The 2 winners play off against one another. Remember, these are one-leg ties and one-leg finals, which just adds to the excitement of it. So we're going to go in descending order here. The best fixture first, which I think anyway, is Portugal versus Turkey. The winner of this game will be at home for the final, which is next Tuesday, which adds a whole other level of incentive to it. Portugal, of course, in our group, in the Republic of Ireland's group, in qualifying for this, and I guess we kind of this result, I guess, did catch our attention, but Ireland were playing on the same night when Alexander Mitrovic scored that 98-minute goal, that winner on the final day of the group. And that draw in Dublin also costly, as it turned out, for Portugal. Their defeat to Serbia in Lisbon was their first defeat in World Cup qualifying at the Estadio de Luz since 2008, and they haven't failed to qualify for a World Cup since 1998. So the hope for Turkey then is that Portugal are going to be without Ruben Dias, they're going to be without Joao Cancelo, and also Pepe has just tested positive for COVID, so they've got a massive hole in their defence. Ruben Neves is also going to be missing for them, and Renato Sanchez suspended as well. So they've got a pretty hefty injury/suspension list to deal with. Turkey, on the other hand, I'm not sure that you tipped them for dark horse success at Euro 2020.
I thought they were disappointed at the Euros, actually, to be honest.
The biggest disappointment, I would say.
Just toothless in front of goal. And there was a lot of, I remember the betting markets at the time were very keen on Turkey. It was interesting, and the betting markets in general are not far off. I mean, it's professional money, and they're just a flop, really.
I think the worst dark horse shout of all time, and I was tipping them as dark horses. 0 points from their games at the Euros, and then after that their form didn't get much better. They got absolutely hammered 6-1 by Netherlands in September. They did, however, get maximum points from their last 3 games in their group phase, and they ended up only 2 points behind the Dutch in the table, which probably illustrates how good they were in the first half of qualifying, which is why everybody was like, this Turkey team are going to do really well, and they're going to do something at this Euros, which didn't happen. Only Gibraltar ended up conceding more goals than them in that qualifying group, for example. Their big thing has been scoring goals, and they scored in every single one of the qualifying games. And again, as I said, a Portuguese defence is relatively depleted, which makes you a little bit excited about what Turkey might be able to do tonight. They haven't actually qualified for a World Cup since 2002 when they came third. So, I mean, for a country that size, I would say that they've been one of the biggest underperformers in world football over the last 20 years.
We're talking about their bid for the Euros or whatever, the joint bid, but what an absolutely fanatical country when it comes to football.
Exactly.
Definitely. I mean, it's ridiculous to look at the teams that Italy or Portugal are not going to make the World Cup here, and we're talking about a 32-team Euros then, in Ireland. I mean, this is one level of it making it too difficult, and then the Euros is ridiculous. But Portugal weren't great in the group, really. I don't think they really deserved to beat us. In Faro, I thought Serbia were better than them in both games that we played against them.
Definitely.
They were just more of a team. Turkey, I mean, Portugal, you're looking at the players that they had in the pitch in both games against Ireland. They were just far better than the sum of their parts. They just didn't perform. So then you mentioned the players out. Turkey could be an interesting one tonight, yeah. I think it's the one we're going to have to watch on the couch, I think, because we have nice options there.
I think that's the one. I think that for me is the one. Just in terms of a couple of team news bits for that Turkish team, you're going to have Soyuncu and Demiral in the defence. Burak Yilmaz is still their lead striker. Again, he was the guy we all pinned our hopes on last summer. Yilmaz for a golden boot, Turkey to go to the semi-finals. Neither of those two things materialised whatsoever. So yeah, that's tonight. The other game in that path tonight then, which I think actually could be pretty interesting, is Italy versus North Macedonia. So as I say, these teams are going to be away next Tuesday for that final. Italy have never lost a World Cup qualifying match on their own turf, is the long and short of it. So North Macedonia will have to do something historic tonight, or Italy will have to crumble in historic fashion if North Macedonia are going to get through to this final. Euros absolutely fresh in the memory for Italy. You'd like to think they're still on a bit of a high from that, but let's also not forget that they didn't make Russia, so they've never failed to make it to the World Cup twice in the bounce. So again, historic consequences here if Italy don't actually get through from this. The reason why they're here is because they got done by Switzerland in qualifying. They finished 2 points off the top, but you might remember as well, I think it was the last day of qualifying, they were held to a 0-0 draw in Belfast by Northern Ireland, and on the same night I think Switzerland won 4-0 against Bulgaria. I think it was only a 2-goal difference in the end, so they were probably going over there hoping to win 2 or 3-0 and qualify on top of goal difference. They could only win one of their last 5 matches, so it was an after Euros sort of party that just completely seeped into the mindset you'd suspect. They drew 4 of those last 5 matches, and that's what did them in the end. They had no Verratti in November, but they have him back now. That's going to be important. Some questions at the moment over Bonucci and Chiellini's fitness. They've both had injuries this season, and it's unsure just exactly how fit they are. They may actually go without both of them tonight, for example. North Macedonia then, I guess we all watched them last summer. It was their first Euros. They did lose all of their games, but I think, again,
disgrace themselves, like.
Not at all. Not at all. And also as well, if you look at 2021 as a whole, they had that incredible result where they beat Germany in qualifying, and I guess that put them into a really good position because they only beat Romania to second place by 1 point in their group in the end. But I guess it was through the Nations League as well where they had their success. So they only lost.
Pandev's still playing?
Say that again?
Pandev's still
No,
playing?
he's gone.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
He was like, what, 37 at the time?
Yeah, Pandev is gone. Elmas is gone, or he's missing tonight, sorry. He's still around, but he's going to be missing tonight. So 2 of their best players, if you're going to look at their Euro squad, not available tonight. So they're massive losses for them. They did just lose one of their last 7 in World Cup qualifying and 4 clean sheets over that stretch as well. So they've kind of beefed up a little bit at the back, and not since November 2016 have they failed to find the back of the net away from home in qualifying. So
that's pretty impressive.
Good records at the front and at the back, which makes me think that this is absolutely worth watching as well. But really, it's hard to look beyond an Italy-Portugal final here.
Yeah, and one is on Virgin Media 3 as well if you don't have the Sky Sports package, and that's the Portugal game. So
right, okay.
Yeah, I believe that's it's on terrestrial.
So that is one of the paths anyway. That is path C, and the likelihood, I'm not saying the Turkey aren't going to do it, but the likelihood is in Porto next Tuesday you're going to have Portugal against Italy. The next situation that we've got tonight then is Sweden versus Czech Republic. Whoever wins this is actually going to be on the road for the final. As I say, they will be on the road in Poland for the final. Poland, remember, got that bye against Russia. Sweden essentially bottled their qualification for the World Cup. They had a cushion on Spain, and they had to do that simple thing of beating Georgia at home, I think, or maybe it was away. They had to beat Georgia, and they lost to Georgia. We kind of know all about that banana skin. And then they were beaten by Spain on the last day, an 86-minute winner from Alvaro Morata. So that ended their automatic qualification hopes. So they finished 4 points behind Spain. And I guess this is a team that would be really, I'd say, favoured in this path. They will be missing Zlatan tonight. He's suspended. And of less importance, Emil Kraft of Newcastle is also out. So you might have a situation, just been reading up on this, where Lindelof may be potentially playing at right back. So if that doesn't send shivers down the spine of every Swede, I'm not sure what will. You're also probably going to have a situation where Elanga will make his debut over the course of the next few days for Sweden, probably from the bench. It's a team full of attacking talents. If Elanga's not even starting, you've got Kulusevski, obviously, who started so well with Spurs. You've got Alexander Isak and, of course, Emil Forsberg in that Sweden attack. The Czech Republic side of things, I would say one of the surprise packages of the Euros. Wasn't really interested in watching them. They ended up making it to the last 8 where Denmark dumped them out. Finished third in their group behind Wales and behind Belgium. But since losing to Belgium in September, they've gone 5 games unbeaten, and it was their Nations League, obviously, which got them into this position. They're going to have no Patrick Schick tonight, which is a big loss, and there's some doubts around Soufal's availability, but Souček will be playing. That one, I think, is possibly the tightest one to call, but Sweden probably slight favourites in that one, especially with Schick missing. And then finally, the other one, Wales versus Austria. These teams are guaranteed a home final. Like, you could have a situation here where it's Wales versus Scotland playing off in a one-leg game in Cardiff for a place in Qatar. Just a quick bit on them. Wales, they'd already sorted their spot in this playoff through the Nations League. We were in their group. They did come second in that group, as I mentioned, though, with Belgium and Czech Republic, which gives them the home advantage. And the question always with Wales is, what's Gareth Bale's situation? He's played 77 minutes of competitive football since November. But I mean, what was the thing again? Wales, golf, Real Madrid, in that order? Was that the banner? So I mean, it's top of his priority list, and it doesn't really come close to anything else. So you might imagine a more fit, ready version of Gareth Bale might come up. They're going to be without Danny Ward, Kiefer Moore, injuries, and then Joe Morel is injured through suspension, or out through suspension, I should say. And then Austria, they finished fourth in a group behind Denmark, Scotland and Israel. So they only got through to this playoff because of their performances in the Nations League. I mean, when you look at their team, you look at Marko Arnautovic, how's he playing this season? He scored 9 goals for... Who do you think he's playing for these days?
Who is Arnautovic with us?
He's Bologna in Serie A.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's banged in 9 goals for them this
city
season.
to visit.
Yeah?
Yeah, college city, yeah.
Right, haven't
City.
been.
I have a good friend living over there. It's top place to go.
You need to go over and watch Marco then.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That'll be an interesting game.
I think all 4 of them, just reading up on them, are very, very interesting. And I think these one-legged affairs just really add to the tension of it. And again, I just can't help thinking, that could have been us.
Yeah, but
we don't want it. We don't want it. That's
I've kind of long forgotten about this World Cup. It's definitely a World Cup where I'd be less interested even in watching it as well. I just think it's horrible on so many levels. I'm sure I'd be watching it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 4 minutes past 8. You're with us here on OTB AM, which is brought to you live each morning by Gillette Labs. For an effortless finish to your day, we are doing a bit of a deeper dive on that Italian story with Paddy Agnew next.